Thanks for tuning in to No Wine in No Time. I'm your host Dave, and today we're going to talk about the southern French appellation of Limoux. Now Limoux is famous for one thing, and that is being the first to produce sparkling wine in the entire world. Yes, documented in 1531, the Byzantine monks of the Saint-Hilaire Abbey produced a frothy wine that was served in ceramic casks with a cork on top. Yes, this was the birthplace of sparkling wine, 100 years earlier than anything that happened in Champagne. Now, I always say a great wine always comes with a great story, and local legend and lore said that the famous Dom Perignon was at the Saint-Hilaire Abbey where he learned to make sparkling wine and then took that tradition to Champagne. However, there's some holes in that story. Dom Perignon was famous in Champagne for producing still wines because it was significantly earlier than what they were producing in Limoux. So that story's been debunked. So back to Limoux as an appellation or as a wine producing region. Why is it so perfect for this brand of sparkling wine? Well, they have the absolute perfect microclimate. So to put a pin in the map, Limoux is in the wine-growing greater region of Languedoc, and its neighbors are Corbière and Carcassonne. But what's different about this region is it's the perfect microclimate for growing grapes used in sparkling wine. There's a bit of a push-pull in weather systems. We have the vent serre, which is actually the winds that come off the Atlantic, and the vent marine, which comes in off the Mediterranean, and they kind of battle to produce just a little bit more moisture and a little bit more cloud cover than their neighbors. Also, the soil here is quite rocky. We have limestone, we have clay, and we also have sandstone, which is perfect for these type of wine grapes. Now, when we look at Limoux as an AOC, Appellation Limoux Contrôlée, there's actually 4 different wines that are approved in that area. And the first one is Blanquette Méthode Ancestrale. So Blanquette Méthode Ancestrale is based on a grape that's native to that area called Mauzac. Now, the ancestral comes in the French vernacular, which actually means traditional. And what that means is that these wines are produced with a secondary fermentation in the bottle, but they are not disgorged. So the wines tend to be just slightly sweeter and a little bit cloudy. We also have Cremant de Limoux, and Cremant de Limoux tends to be a bit crisper and certainly in line with other Cremants that we've talked about with other parts of France. And we also have Limoux as a still wine, of course, no bubbles whatsoever. But the wine I want to profile today is called Blanquette de Limoux. Blanquette de Limoux, which is the Blanquette grape, which means little and white, referring to Mauzac. And according to wine laws in France, this wine must be at least 90% Mauzac. So basically it's a Mauzac wine. So Mauzac is very famous because in the glass it puts off a lot of very fall flavors. Think apples and pears. And of course with the sparkling, there's a bit of a brioche-ness to it as well. So let's dive in and take a look at what this wine has to offer in our wine glass. So the one that I picked for you today was one that's called Les Berceaux, and it's a Blanquette de Limoux. So if we look at it in our flute, the first thing that we notice is it's quite pale in its color, just lightly straw yellow, with a beautiful mousse coming off the bottom of the glass. Now with sparkling wines, we do not swirl to liberate the aromas. So let's just give it a sniff and let the bubbles bring the aromas to us. So when I sniff this wine, the first thing I get on the aroma palette is that it's a bit citral. It smells kind of like citrus fruits. Think tangerine, think lemon, and a little bit of that apple. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Very nice. Across the palate, this Blanquette de Limoux is exactly what I thought it would be. big apple flavors. Think yellow, delicious apples with a little bit of apple skin in there as well. And just a delightful pear flavor on top of that. Think almost on the line of poached pears. This is a brut, so it is quite dry. And on the back side of the palate, I'm getting just a little bit of kind of buttered brioche to bring it all together. It really is a fantastic alternative to champagne with a tremendous traditional lineage. So I'm going to get back and enjoy a little bit more of this Blanquette de Limoux, and I ask that you tune in next time, because soon you'll know wine in no time.